Bomani, what's your overall takeaway from your conversation with D. Smith?
Well, I thought first, I'm curious to talk to all kinds of people about, like, so what else do you think are in the emails? Because no matter who you are, no matter what your cause, no matter what your agenda, after you saw what Gruden said, and there's 650,000 emails, you're like, yo, I wonder if there's something about me. Like, I have so many, like, little things about that team and bigger, larger questions where I'm like, I wonder if there's an email about that one. The trick bag for this, though, is that, and I thought about this when he said it, and I asked him during the interview, I was like, you would like for those emails to be released? Is that simply a request? And he said yes, because they don't have any power to necessarily compel this. Like, they can just ask, like, hey, we sure would like to see these emails. In the NFL, I think obviously has no incentive to distribute what they have out to people, but I think they played themselves in trying to get Jon Gruden out, and I would still love to know exactly why it is that they chose to destroy him. And trying to get him out there exposed to everybody that they have this and they're willing to put it out. So now people are going to be out there asking for them to put it out, and that's not going to be good for them.
Bro, that's what I've been saying the whole time. That was the first thing I said when all this stuff came out about Jon Gruden. I said, what is the NFL? It feels like they're trying to hide something about the bigger conversation, considering that this was originally an investigation into the Washington football team.
Yeah, see, I don't think they're necessarily – I don't think they're trying to show everybody what's going on with the Washington football team, but I don't even necessarily think they're trying to hide it because they've had this stuff and none of us thought about it. Like, there's so much chaotic news in the world that moves that I had forgotten this investigation had been done and that there had already been the $10 million fine and that Dan Snyder didn't have day-to-day control of the team. Like, I'd already forgotten about all of those things, and that's what gets us here. But they appear to have chosen to weaponize that in order to move out Jon Gruden. And Gruden, I'm good with him being gone, but I am very curious who woke up and decided that today was his day.
And for what reason, right? Like, why Jon Gruden? Why was it? Because, Bomani, your calculation here is very interesting. The amount of shine they're giving this investigation now and the over 600,000 emails, no one was thinking about it. So what was the impetus? Why the urgency to move Gruden out?
I do not get it. I will not get it, although I will say they provided a blueprint for anybody else they decide to do this to. Like, once they put out the first email, hey, man, just go ahead and quit right then because there's more. Just you wait.
Bomani, how do we turn the corner now, though, right? I mean, everybody's looking for the NFL for answers. I got some questions of my own that I want to know, but I'm sure I'll never get them. So how do we move on from this? How do we turn the corner?
Oh, man, I don't really think that we or anybody else get to make a decision on this one. I don't think this corner is getting turned for quite a while. I would not be surprised if we see more things come out of this because apparently with the LA Times having their hands on emails from a different lawsuit and now the push from the former cheerleaders who are suing, this could very easily be the beginning of a scandal. Like, I don't think that this is going to be a matter of we get another week of football games, and then everything goes away. I don't see this. I also imagine that there are a lot of people at wherever the places are that have this information. There's always somebody with their own agenda who wants somebody else to wind up going down. Like I try to tell people when everything happened with George Floyd and all of this last summer, what we learned is that younger people who worked at offices were the ones who were pushing a lot of this stuff. And they can very often be the ones who get their hands on things and then put them out because they don't feel like the company they work for represents the values that they claim that they did in the first place. I would not be surprised if little by little, day by day, week after week, we find out more and more and more about what's in that trove of emails because there's just too much stuff that's potentially there for people, I think, just to quit and walk away.
Bomani Jones, host of The Right Time with Bomani Jones, joining us this morning on Keyshawn, JWill, and Max. What do you think this says about where the NFL is overall right now and when it comes to these type of major issues that we have in just diversity, just LGBT community, just everything that we deal with on a daily basis?
So I think, and I know I felt this way definitely about 20 years ago, probably more about 10 years ago, where we could look at a lot of things that happened in this country with regards to race and everything else. And I don't want to say that those things wound up happening by accident, but you hear a lot of people that say it's the race, not class thing. And I had believed for a significant stretch of time that, man, white people weren't really talking about us and like thinking about us like that when we wasn't around. They was too busy doing other stuff. Clearly, they're not. Clearly, these things are not just things that happen blatantly or accidentally for a lot of people. A lot of these things are at the top of their minds, and that's what moves and motivates the decisions that they wind up making. Like, you could try to separate this email chain with these two CEOs and with Bruce Allen, the brother of a senator, the son of a Hall of Fame coach, and with Jon Gruden. You could just try to act like that's this joke and it doesn't affect anything else they do, but that becomes borderline impossible. And so what you're seeing is that this league and the power structure of it that has stayed so white and stayed so male, when you do that, it gets built in that people can just sit around and talk like this, and these kinds of things, they reinforce themselves, and it really becomes like a mantra and company motto for the place that you work. When people just feel like they can just sit around on the company email. Oh, stupid Bruce Allen messed it up for everybody just by not putting it on Gmail. But these guys knew that he was doing the same thing. And so what I think you fundamentally going to learn about this is the attitude that undergirds a lot of what a bunch of these teams actually do. And it's not just, oh, man, we're just out here looking for the best person, No, man, these are who these people appear to be. Somebody has hired them knowing that these are these people, because I see no reason why Bruce Allen had to hide who he was around the office. This is who they are, and that means this is what this league is.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.